Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Coming up on the program today. Police in Edo State rescue a toddler from abusive parents. Teachers continue call against leaving the funding to local governments. And the Senate Committee on Environment investigates delay in the Ogoni cleanup exercise. Once again, the President has launched a policy framework, a national action plan for preventing and countering violent extremism. And it's a 3-year action plan to be implemented by ministries, departments and agencies. In his speech, President Muhammadu Buhari mentioned that the faithful implementation will reduce hate speeches, twisted religious ideology and violence. He has asked states and local governments to follow suit by drawing up their action plan. The chairman, Senate Committee on Navy, Issa Misau, has filed a subpoena to compel the Inspector General of Police to appear in court to testify on his behalf and produce documents that will aid his defense. Counsel to the Senator, Joshua Musa, argues that a defendant is entitled to every document, persons or material needed to defend himself. The new counsel to the federal government, Alex Zoyon, has filed an application to challenge that and intends to amend the 5 charges initially filed against Senator Misau to 7. Justice Ishaq Bello has adjourned the trial to December the 4th for argument. The lawmaker is facing trial for allegedly bearing false witness against the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris.
They didn't list the IGP as one of their witnesses, but we need him. We need him to come and testify for the defense. We need some documents from the police to conduct the defense of the defendant. It's as simple as that. They should know better, but we need him, and the court has the powers to order him. The subpoena has been signed. If they want to set aside, we want to see the reason why. One of the reasons they gave is that it is an abuse of court process. But the Constitution gives every defendant the right to have adequate facilities in preparation for his defense. So we need the IG to testify for us in defense and also to produce some documents.
Well, I've read what there are 5 counts there, so adding 2 additional counts, and then to amend some processes that were hitherto filed. And we also brought some application apart from that amendment because of what they filed on the subpoena, which is unknown to law, asking the complainant to produce documents for them to prove their case. So these are the 2 applications that were pending, and God has graciously given us next Tuesday to take them up. When the coast is clear, and then the hearing can proceed.
Officials of the Edo State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, the Nigerian Police and a non-governmental organization, Child Protection Network, have rescued a 2-year-old victim of child abuse allegedly carried out against him by his father and stepmother at Amagba community in Benin City, the Edo State capital. When the officials stormed the compound located on one street in the community, the boy was seen locked up in a room of an uncompleted building without food or water, with nobody around. The Director, Child Development, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, Mr. Edward Osigbeme, who led the rescue efforts, says the child will remain in government custody for now.
Officials of the Edo State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare, a non-governmental organization, Child Protection Network, and plainclothes police officers stormed this compound in Amagba, GRA, Benin City, the state capital. They're acting on a tip-off provided by residents of the area concerning a case of alleged child abuse said to have been taking place here for several months. True to the information, a 2-year-old boy is seen locked up in the apartment. His stepmother is said to have gone out earlier in the day for business with her biological children. Members of the community arrived at the scene and helped in rescuing the child from the harrowing conditions he was left in. With the child rescued, the officials say the next step is to bring the culprits before the law.
We got an anonymous call to report this case to us, that a child of 2 years has been kept in an uncompleted building without being cared for from morning till night. And this is something they said it has been happening for over months. More than 4 months now, they said that is what has been happening to this child. They don't even give him any food. They leave him there from morning till night. You can see that nobody's at home. It just proves the case that what the information we got was right.
They will be prosecuted. Both the woman and the father of the child will be prosecuted. And the child will be taken adequate care of, both medically and otherwise. So, I mean, they are not fit to be parents.
The chairman of the community, Peter Emio, describes the alleged crime as shocking.
These atrocities, we would not want it to continue. Thank God the baby has been rescued. We will also do our own part to bring these people to justice by finding the people, the man and the woman living in that house. We then take them to the police. We have their numbers, and the woman from the organization, we have their numbers. We can always call on them.
For now, the rescued child has been taken into government custody, while efforts are on to apprehend his alleged abusers.
The National Union of Teachers have continued to say that no to the move to give funding of primary education to local governments. They are not against the autonomy of the teachers. They are concerned that local governments are not strong enough to take care of the needs of the children and their teachers. In this next report, we take a look at the agitations of Osun, Cross River and Kwara states.
Members of the National Union of Teachers across the country are still speaking out against the government's plans to raise primary education funding under the administration of local governments. This is coming after the National Union of Local Government Employees staged protests over their alleged marginalization and the call for autonomy. Placards with inscriptions fill the air, as these teachers say they are not against local government autonomy, but they would rather the funding and management of the education sector be left in the hands of the states and the federal government. From Nigeria's southern region, teachers in Osun, Cross River and Abia states marched to their various national assemblies to air their opinions on the clamor for local government autonomy and where they stand as a union.
We are not against local government autonomy, because we know that when autonomy is granted, those in the grassroots will benefit. But we are saying that the salaries of our members should be first charged from the allocation accounts and the balance handed over to local government to have their financial autonomy.
Let the funding and primary education be removed from the autonomy, and a neutral body be established and funded to manage and control primary education in the country.
The state lawmakers say they are aware of the situation, promising to table the concerns before a larger gathering of the House.
We will make sure that teachers are protected. Your welfare will be assured, so that you will now continue to bring forth children that are good. If you are not well equipped, if you are not being paid, it will affect the people you produce.
It's an ongoing fight, according to the teachers' union, who said its members remain united for the cause to keep education under the states and federal government.
My news across Nigeria returned to find out the latest group threatening to go on an indefinite action. That's if government doesn't do anything to their plights. Details and more shortly.